Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this community live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League, presented by WTRL. Let's get right into the racing. Sorry, we're late. Got a couple of technical difficulties in the background, so let's go ahead and jump right down into it, as we missed a couple of the sprints there up front from the ladies, but we can watch the men's first sprint off the gun here with Osmar coming on through Grasicki, and the rest and the next presented by Insured coming on through, it looks like, for second and third. Lipka's in there as well. This is the men's East Division 1A. Nathan Guerra with you, Dave Towle next to me, and we're going to get your points as well as the series standings up on the board right off the bat. Again, apologies for missing the first 10 or so minutes from the ladies' race. Let's go ahead and see what's happening down there as well. I think they're jumping right on into their sprint, Dave, as we get going here for their second time around. And it looks like, I think, may have lost Dave here for just a second. So as you can see, we were having a couple of technical difficulties. We got you there, Dave?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Great. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. So 43K out here. This is a tough day. Over 500 meters of climbing, and it's so sneaky the way it comes at you here. As you can see, it's the cobbles add an element of difficulty, but really logarithmically increase that with the fact that it is just a slog out here. 6 laps today, and the sprints have been savage, absolutely savage. Well, so it really looks like, Nathan, we've got ourselves another great battle here. 111 versus 110, so virtually tied right now for the third and final spot for the playoffs would be ATP Racing Stingers at 111, with On the Rivet the Cinderellas at 110. And to be honest, Les Watt sisters, they benefit greatly with Riot and Wahoo Lacole up there, because they might just sneak in and grab that third spot. Every now and then you get 2 dogs fighting for a bone, and a third one comes and takes it. And that might be the case. Nathan, we've got ourselves a very interesting afternoon or evening of racing here. So sprints, fastest through segments, fastest across the line is what I really should be calling our sprints. And they've already got 1 lap in, just about to actually head out on their 3rd lap here as they're about to complete lap number 2 on Champs-Élysées. This is Lettice Express.
looks like Rush here with Claire Cameron. 47 points for Cassandra Rush. You can see Claire Cameron, they're coming in with 28.
What?
It's going to be Lam Kong there
Holy
with
cow.
22. Riot getting a little bit put on the back foot, it seems like. Not to be expected too much. Interesting enough to see. So the first sprints, Grossman
Crush it.
coming in with a 9. Fastest first across the line, perhaps, with some of those points there, but not fastest through segment. Cassandra Rush demolishing this so far.
So we should explain fastest through segment, Nathan, for folks. This is the 8th race of the season. It's been almost 2 months of hard-fought racing every Tuesday in our community, and this group never disappoints. As a matter of fact, this is always one of my favorite races of the day, without any doubt, as we take a look at the peloton together here, Nathan. But that fastest through segment, that is critical to your success out here today. And you can see Cassandra Rush has already picked up 35 points, but oddly enough, that could go down, believe it or not, because those points continually get shuffled and redistributed. But she's obviously on a great day, and I wouldn't expect it to go down, to tell you the truth. We've just seen some interesting racing out here today, and fastest through segment is an element that WTRL brings into the community racing that only happens here. It's exclusive to the community, and it is absolutely beloved.
Let's go ahead and see if we can actually find Anna Russell out on course. I did just see her up toward the front of the pack, riding for that Riot team that's been completely dominating so far. Here's Anna, and what I want to know first of all is how her fashion's going. It's the usual, nothing
Standard
too out of the ordinary today.
Headband.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we're gonna do a picture-in-picture with her Independs. Rather than full screen here, as she did a great job of explaining what the triple power-up may be available out there today. It's the only course out on Zwift that you can actually make.
Hey everyone, and welcome to race 8. So exciting, the last race of the season, discounting the playoffs. Hopefully your team is making the playoffs, but last race of the regular season. Very exciting on Lutece Express. I hope you're more excited than nervous as you sit here for session 8 of In the Pens, a new kind of thing we're trying out. Last week we talked about bike choice, but it's pretty easy on this one. Just go aero as, so disc wheel, Specialized Venge, something like that. Tron if you don't have a disc wheel, but yeah, bike choice is easy. This week we've got a very exciting one because this is probably one of the best times I've seen the use of a power-up on a course. And in my knowledge, it's the only time you can use a triple power-up on this course. What does a triple power-up mean? First off, the power-ups for this one: Steamroller, Feather, and Aero. Now, Feather will probably be useless with this, but let me describe how it works. And I've actually got my whiteboard out. So, as you can see here, this is a kind of drawing of the first sprint, because we're doing this reverse. You go around the Arc de Triomphe, you've got that first sprint there. Drop a power-up before that sprint. Pick up another one while that power-up's still being dropped to carry you through to the lap banner. Then you'll get a new power-up after that lap banner. Big tick of approval there. That is because you now have run 3 power-ups in a row. I have seen the best tactics here played when someone did this and got away on a solo attack to take it away by the end. They'd already gained about 30 seconds by the time they dropped that third power-up. So fingers crossed you get a steamroller, drop it before that first sprint. You'll pick up another as that power-up is still running its course. Then you'll have that power-up. Then you'll get another at the next banner to run through again. So triple power-up, pray for the steamrollers. Feathers will be useless. Good luck. Have a great race.
Well, awesome info there, obviously coming in, and we're about to see the situation for the triple power up here in just a second.
How do we know that Anna's not faking everybody out with the misinformation campaign?
Well, that would be a pretty not exactly
dastardly. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But it looks. I think he's 100%.
You can trust her.
She's 100% all about it. Yeah. And I would not be surprised one bit if we see her deploying triple power-ups here in just a moment.
Yeah, we'll see how her luck is. Talking about, you absolutely are looking for that steamroller. It's worth noting, Nathan, if you haven't joined us, that steamroller is one we haven't seen all that much in the history of esports racing. But what it does is it takes no matter what terrain or no matter what surface, I should say, you're on, it'll turn that into the equivalent of smooth tarmac with the super low rolling resistance. So it's 30 seconds once you deploy that power up. The feather out there for lightweight, reducing your weight by 10%, but for only 15 seconds. And then same thing, the aero power up, that's the aerodynamic helmet that you see. And as Anna said, that won't be, not as desirable as the steamroller. I'll put it that way. So that's Anna Russell that we're in with, racing down in New Zealand, where it's already Wednesday. I never thought about that before, but for her, it's not WTRL, ZRL Tuesdays. Well, I guess it is when she broadcasts with Kate Bates.
Yeah, just in the morning when she broadcasts with Kate.
Right.
Moving forward, it looks like on the course now, the ladies giving a little bit of a go here, it looks like, and very early on these power-ups that we're seeing thrown down. It is going to be WLC on the attack on the front. Mason there given a go. Britt Mason, always a pretty good puncher, but here comes Megan Rathwell. But no, it's going to be the Watts sisters, perhaps. Claire Cameron at the last moment, steamrolling it here.
CC Ryder.
Killing it, it looks like here. 186 beats per minute. Takes down the points and shows us why Riot are exactly who they are at the top of this leaderboard right now. On the men's side of things, they did just jump on through their second sprint. It is back-to-back-to-back sprints here. We will try and get you guys some replays of them as they come on through. But it looks like only a lap and a half in for the boys, and they are already starting to completely splinter out here as well. Very, very difficult racing here for the men, it looks like, as they try to keep things together. Left-hand side of the screen, men's racing. And a little bit of a split actually taking place at the front as Velocio gave it a little bit of a go with M. Barton, but that's going to get pulled right back in.
This course absolutely begs racers to get after it and make it hard out there. And I mean, you can see, we've seen this all day long in every single division. It certainly is a tough way to end the season. Well, maybe not a tough way. This is what you signed up for if you're into the ZRL. It's basically about an hour of intensity and honest FTP, to tell you the truth, as you're really going to be throwing a full hour of digging deep, because they never back off is the thing. Seeing right now Claire Cameron, who picked up that bonus fastest first across the line, I should say, that triple power up. We'll watch and see how that plays out here today. As you can see, as we have the split screen images right now, for a rare moment, it looks like they're backing off, and they're not even really doing well. I guess they actually are. For the first time, the wattage numbers aren't ridiculous, sitting under 4 watts per kilo for the most part for these guys, after they've done some serious sorting out of things. So this is the points total, 136 for next level with 133 for Velocio Trail Mesh. So Velocio, Nathan, is going to need some help, because only one of the men's teams makes it into the playoffs. It's 3 for the women, but 1 again for the men. So next level, almost maybe, I don't know that they'll go on the defensive, to tell you the truth. They'll race the way that they race, which is aggressively and with their heads. But Velocio is going to need on the Rivet Blur, ATP Racing Hydrogen, and HTFU restart to step up if they want to take that coveted top spot and punch their ticket to the playoffs.
True. The other thing is, next do have a team, though, at the top. I don't know. We'll have to see how that all works out. There's been different announcements about what's happening with Season 3, whether or not acceptance or not into playoffs. There is that whole card to play there as well, too. Either way, I think Velocio are going to be
a lot up in the air.
A lot up in the air,
right.
But Velocio still are able to compete for that top spot and try and jump into the playoffs, obviously, in order to earn something here. But it's going to be tough. I mean, a lot of other teams are going to have to disrupt what Next are just good at, and they're already being good at it today, as you can see.
You and the boys still doing Friday night pizza nights?
Yes, once in a while. It's changed up a little bit as we're getting, closer to season. So pizza night's not
Well,
quite
keep
as
that up.
much right now, but definitely
I see the
it is a
Pizza
part
Boys
of
are
the life.
back.
The Pizza
I'm a
Boys
big
are
fan.
back. Oh, they are. Good call there, Dave.
Yeah. The Rhys Edwards is the Welsh rider on the team. I bet you they have some good pizza in Wales. The pizza's worldwide, man. Nate Clausen, Larry Hughes. Larry's my friend from the Worlds in 2015 at the Paradise Garage hangout we had with Zwift back when you were doing those national tours. Cody Hardley and Chris Rednauer out here as we're taking a look at how the points have been sorting out now, and it's going to be next, that very familiar jersey, as it's, let's go ahead and get a look at all of the next riders that we've got with us here today. That's Marcus Duval there on top with 29 points, a fastest through segment and a first across the line, 9-point there. And then, of course, Tony Gumbel, TG, in the house, and he has picked up 22 points. You take a look then, working our way a little further down. That yellow jersey, is that Velocio? No, it's not, is it? That's CTBR. That's the Brazilian team. And Ovaz is Osmar Vaz there with 20 points that he picked up. He's picked up at the sprints. And actually, he's been the man to beat, it looks like, Nathan, the Brazilian.
Yeah, nice go there so far from them. I think Team F3 is going to be the let's see here if I can find one of the F3 riders out here. They are going to be in the bright neon kit, Team F3. The Brazilian team Guerra, I'm not sure if they're actually in for today. It might just be no change up on the name, as they don't have to change the names in order to. It does help, but I do believe that Manda here is riding for Team F3. And Guarani may be as well the rider with Guarani in his name coming out of Brazil, as I do see him in an F3 kit. So. But I believe that is going to be his maybe a TTT team or something along those lines, because I'm not seeing, unless that team is doubling up there on kits, and I don't believe that's happening.
I see Ollie Dowd, the Canadian, getting up there for restart. Ollie, at one point, Nathan, I doubt it's still true, because that podcast I was listening to must have been recorded a year ago. But for a while, Ollie Dowd was racing, doing esports on a bike that had no headset. The fork was somehow wedged into the steer tube. Like, I'm going to guess he had a towel or something holding everything in place. But the bike was not
literally just had no
worthy.
headset.
Had no, just a fork jammed through a head tube with somehow, hose clamps or God knows what. But you couldn't take that bike out for a ride, which is pretty unique for sure. Frankenbike kind of situation.
That's about as Frankenbike as it gets. Greg Kosicki here, trying to Frankenstein everybody else, or at least bring himself back from the dead. Maybe as going off the front here. Wow, 10 watts per kilogram all day long off the front.
He's serious about it.
ATP, they're just setting a pace at the front, it looks like. At about, 6 watts per kilogram is still serious here. But there isn't really much of a response. His teammates just sitting in. And this might be just given to him. If they don't chase this is just first across long points. If they don't come across, because I know he can hold a pretty solid. I have a feeling he'll do orange numbers over the top, and then it will be steady to the line, most likely be able to hold on to first across the line points, and even using the steamroller to gain some speed as it flattens out here. Perfect use of that little bit of a back pocket weapon he's got there.
Yeah, Greg is one of the strongest riders in the division, no doubt about it. Always a danger man out here. And that's the difference maker as well. When you're strong and going well, that's almost laughable what happens now as you turn the cobblestones into smooth pavement. He's got a nice gap.
It's already around the corner. Well. Osmar now looking to come around.
10 seconds up the road.
15 watts per kilogram, full gas.
Here he goes again.
From Osmar, F3. Can he catch Grasicki's the question? 8 seconds up the road, not going to be happening.
I don't know about that, yeah. But he's definitely going to take second in the first across the line here. Good job, Greg. Certainly a strong ride from the next rider. And that, so he hasn't scored, there we go, 7 points. So I think we'll be making that 17 here.
Duval holding on, his teammate for third, fourth, I believe, across the
Oh,
line
boy.
for amongst the pack. Next, really dominating the points here so far. It's only going to be, it looks like
That's
F3.
a little ominous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
F3, I think, are the only ones that are really going to be able to make much happen here. Jumping in with the ladies. They're opening up their sprint. And as they do, it looks like on the front, it is going to be Claire Cameron and Yax going again. And are they going to hold on to it? They've even got the steamroller, but MJ from Watts Sisters without a steamroller comes through on second place, though. But it's going to be Yax. Laura Perry following up, I think, for third. Claire Cameron settling. I believe that was fourth place across the line there. Where's Anna Russell with that sprint she's been working on, though? That's what I want to know. Wow, look at the damage. Dave, this is, whew.
Yeah.
Lamb Kong is
Yikes.
even off the back. Russell's just hanging on at this point, it looks to me.
Evelyn Gagnon, like a canyon, is just, I mean, she's so strong that if I looked around and saw her, I'd know that everything's going to be okay. But still, Riot sprinting so hard here. It's the damage, the aftermath, if you will, as we're taking a look at the Brainiac herself, Anna Russell. And to be fair, obviously Anna's a colleague and friend of ours, but she is also a mom. And 4.5 months ago, just had another child, so it's just incredible to have her back. Molly Van Houweling, one of the coolest people in the sport of cycling, without any doubt, former world hour record holder. And it wasn't for a minute, Nathan. She held that record for a few years at the same time as Bradley Wiggins was. She was the queen and he was the king of the hour record for quite a while there. As we take a look at the peloton back together through the middle part of the race, thank you everybody for joining us out here. This is the 8th and final regular season race here in the ZRL, brought to you by the WTRL, World Tactical Racing League. And we're through the halfway point for the women now. 43 kilometers of racing, 6 laps here on Champs-Élysées. This course that was built for Tour de France back in 2020, the Tour de France Virtuelle.
Yeah, pretty amazing what they've done here, making this course for the Tour de France in order to have that virtual race in 2020. And they did a really awesome job with it, actually.
Sure did.
Look at all these,
and it's a really hard course. It really made me realize, Nathan, that actually it's funny how Zwift has enlightened me to so many things. But one of them really was that the Champs-Élysées is, the pros in Tour de France make it look like they're floating on the cobbles. But it is a serious slog every time up to the Arc de Triomphe where you do the turnaround, one of the 2 turnarounds.
It's almost like it's sold as an easy day, right? But no.
Seems like it.
It's
I
not
always
even
feel like
close
people
to
think
an
it's flat.
easy day. And it's not even close to the way that it's raced a lot of times.
If
It seems pretty full gas to me. I mean, it's crit racing at its highest.
If you set a soccer ball
Circuit.
down
I'd say
on the
circuit.
ground,
Circuit critish. I mean, it's kind of a little bit. It feels like it is circuit. But I mean, the way that I've seen it raced in real life, I feel like I'm watching a crit, though. The way that the attacks
kind of is
go.
with the speeds.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair to say, actually. I mean, that's a completely valid point. But it actually, I mean, if you look at it, there's no hard corners here. Everything is sweeping.
You're right. Yeah.
You know, right. But you're right. The way it's raced, it's always like small gap gets opened up by, and it's very rare that a breakaway stays away. But this is different because it's the attrition, right? The entire race, start to finish, happens here on Champs-Élysées. And versus in Tour de France, they race, that's when they're having glasses of champagne and, taking all of the photographs of the jerseys together, and the teams take photos. And it's a bit of a celebration before they get down to the final few laps where they really do race their hearts out one more time. It's obviously completely legit. But there's an interesting first half of the race and a second half of the race. Here, it's just racing, and it is really, really hard. As the 25K in now, or very close to that for the women, with 43 total K of racing. And every time you drop down, coming back up is a dangerous moment, but everybody together here. And the other thing that's really different, Nathan, is in Tour de France, you don't have a sprint every lap.
Very true. As far as the sprinting every single lap goes, it really, I think, causes this race to be exactly this difficult. That completely causes this situation where you feel like you're in the middle of a tornado, like, because there's always incentive to not be sitting around, and people are going to keep on trying to make something happen in order to go for that carrot that's sitting out there. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about WTRL is the gamification that they've put in to the racing on Zwift, to just always give somebody some sort of incentive to make a move. And that's what we're seeing right now, making their next way up towards
the secret
tree,
sauce.
up with Walter Zwart. ATP are on a double attack here up the road.
Holy moly. Well, this is obviously coordinated, and it might be devastating, to tell you the truth, the middle part of the race for the men there. Wouters were well-known rider for ATP. Legendary status, I would say. And Nathan, who's going to come up? Is that Alex Gagnon coming up to join for ODZ? Or excuse me, for the actually racing for Restart here. I apologize.
It is giving a move, it looks like
a canyon.
Here. Yep, Barton's there as well. Velocio looking to
Osmar's
follow.
back.
It looks like ODZ,
the Brazilian
OTR.
Rocket.
Yep, there we go. And Osmar, he really wants to grab some solid points, it looks like today. It looks like Lucas Verslos is there as well. It looks like the doctor making his way forward. And I wonder if he's going to grab some points from OTR here. Now some orange numbers, and this is kind of the whole pack involved rather than one rider giving it a go.
Yeah, but you can just see now that shape. That's not a normal shape of a peloton. That's a very aggressive race with much larger than normal gaps, as everybody's really fighting to keep their head above water out here for sure. So the heavy hitters have been called to the front. There's no reason to even show up front now if you're not ready to throw that 20-pound sledgehammer down over and over again, because that's what it's going to take. ATP's got a really strong team here, and certainly Wouters Zwart is one of the weapons on that squad. But Nathan,
Barton,
again,
moved
it's a
by
team.
Barton. It looks like here a little bit of orange numbers here being thrown down as he comes over the top. And isn't that the way to do it, Dave? Like, over the top of an attack by someone, you take full advantage of the fact
100%.
That
you use them up. Use what's on their plate. Help them finish their spaghetti dinner, and then you shoot off the front, right?
Like Lipka. Lipka's watching everybody
Nice,
give it a go off the front, and Josh goes 10 watts per kilogram kick into 9 here. Feather power up looking to grab a gap,
Monster.
and they're actually letting him get a little bit of something, but it is going to open up again. He's going to need that solid 10 seconds or so, and Osmar's got, he goes every time at this section, and he's been able to pull it off.
Josh is a highly respected coach in the world, and he definitely has been coaching himself quite well. This is a man who's really forcing the issue. Let's see what happens now, because definitely he just threw down out here. And the Velocio rider, Josh, being picked up by Velocio this season, it was a great addition for the team, but it looks like he's going to have some company, as here comes the Brazilian Osmar.
He's got to jump on the wheel. Now Osmar just goes here. Josh is kicking into 6 watts per kilogram now. I'm not sure he's even going to be able to hold off the chase now at this point. It's going to come right down to it. Needs to dig. Now here comes Greenberg. The speed's going to be insane from the pack. They're charging hard. Josh Lipka's not quite going to make it. It looks like Greenberg from ATP may even catch. He did at the line. What a move from ATP. Gets them both at 15 watts per kilogram right into his super tuck. The speeds are going to be insane off the front here. Those who are at the back or that even got caught there need to watch out, because that gap is opening up quick.
Brad Greenberg there. And just the fact that you can super tuck on this course, 2 things, Nathan, that you're going fast enough and it's actually steep enough that you can get a super tuck is amazing. As we take a look now at, the men's race is ballistic. Absolutely awesome out there. And Brad Greenberg making a statement for ATP. He'll pick up maximum bonification back in with the ladies as they're almost 28K in, as you see the arc, the triumph there. And a peloton that's much larger than I expected. This next sprint might be the damage that we're expecting to see out here. As I'm really, really impressed to see the depth that we've got in America's East with our women's field over there on the right-hand side of your screen.
The women are playing it just a little bit differently. It looks like,
coy.
And a little bit more coy. And because of that, I'm not sure we're going to get the same gaps opening up through the sprint sections. We'll see. But because the power is not completely on through those sections, I'm just getting the feeling that perhaps
I have a feeling Riot's saving.
More.
I think there's something coming too, Nathan. I kind of hear a ticking sound in the background. I think that's a time bomb, and it's going to blow this race to bits.
It's not.
It's not. No,
it's
I hope not.
Crocodile.
Or either way,
Grossman.
Christina Grossman's gonna
right
lead
to
this
the
out.
line
Right,
with her
is 1-2.
teammate Cameron with
On
the
fire, Claire.
steam rolling it. Looks like Laura Perry right on her wheel. Nice move there. Rathwell's there as well. We are seeing it looks like keeping it real, Jennifer Real. Team Aeonian is here following wheels, but not really involved at the front so far too much. And take a look at these points as they come on up. And it looks
again,
like
I'd expect
Cameron
to hear
again
more
at
from them.
64. 64 points. And Jane there at 42. I'd agree there. Where is Aeonian? They're at the bottom where with Yax. Yax was in there though early on. We did see that. As well as Weiss.
They've got two in the top 10 out here. That's actually not as bad as it sounds. And I have a feeling we'll hear more from them as well. They're not out of the conversation talking about Aeonian, but how about Claire Cameron today? One-woman wrecking crew with her sidekick, Christina Grossman, there at 31 points. Those two are almost at 100 points between them. So Jean with 42. It's going to be Laura Perry, 28 points. Kong with 26. Clark, 22. And Cassandra Rush, who is picking up points on both sides of the aisle there, 21 points. Kristen Yax with 20. And that's a look at how we've been distributing the points through the first 2/3 of the race. Here's another arch to reload your power up, getting rid of that feather. That's the lightweight power up that is not as impactful as it can be. So there's certainly plenty of races like Worlds where that was the power up to have, but today it's all about that steamroller.
It is. And as we see here, Kaplan, Yates, Ula Moran there from GLV Women. Katrina Weiss is in here from the Aeonian team, and she is sitting in the top 10 with 11 there still. Good to see her hammering away still. I'm not sure. I mean, she does have a solid kick, but she tends to be a little bit more of your just pure power through for a solid 5 to 10 minute type riders. We saw her really perform in Climbers Gambit as well as in the TTTs, which having a good day for her talents, that's for sure, with those 11 points. But Cameron, I'm really impressed with how her sprint has come on in the second half of this season, to be honest. I mean, she has really been leading this Riot team in a lot of ways. And so Claire Cameron, big shout out to her. And I've seen her name at the top of these boards over and over again the last couple of weeks in ways that I actually haven't seen in the past, I feel like. So I think she's really put some effort in her training recently.
Couldn't agree more. Definitely. I mean, she was always a quality rider, so it makes it even harder to find those kind of gains. And you can just feel that she's leveled up. So, Claire, keep up the good work out there. Definitely the world is noticing. And I mean, she's already done everything else that she does for you now is complete gravy, to tell you the truth. Just a phenomenal effort.
The boys are making their rounds. Everybody's kind of calmed down here at this point, it feels like. They're starting to look at each other and like, okay, we had a plan. We got punched in the face here and there a little bit, and we're changing it up.
We're still here. We're still here.
And we're remaking our plan and figuring out how we're going to get through rounds 7, 8, 9, 10. As we make our way back over to the men as they're about to have their next attack. And that's kind of the cool thing about this course. Is it just keeps on going, coming at you with this climb, with a different way of maybe attacking, a different rider, giving it a go. You always have an opportunity, it seems like, on this course to make something
I always
happen.
like that. I always like that saying, Nathan. How do you make God laugh? Tell him your plans. Tell her your plans, right?
Yeah. Is Wouter off the front? Zwart gave it away.
Well, attacking with... Yeah, this is going to be the Brazilian team, I believe. Or is that Velocio?
No, he's lapping a rider. It's a lapped rider.
A lapped rider. Okay, so Wouter Zwart here in the pink jersey is your solo leader with them.
I'm looking for where I got replays here.
9-second advantage.
Because this is a pretty serious move.
Again, same as the women's 6 laps out here. How far are we from sprint points now? Because this won't be for fastest through segment. Or, I mean, is this an attempt to win the race outright? Is he that audacious?
I mean, he went through, okay, so here, I'll show you exactly where it happened.
16K to go.
I have a replay. He went at 25.1, okay? Right
this has got to
here,
be for the points.
You can just see him going off the front. So here, just as he came out of the underground tunnel, look on just toward the front end of the pack here. You can kind of see an ATP jersey just roll slightly off the front, right there. Well, maybe not roll slightly off the front. There he goes through the pack just now. Ward at 6.5. So it was a roll. It wasn't orange. It was just 6.3. And
just under the radar.
Yep.
Just under the radar, right? I mean, he doesn't pop orange, but he's right up there.
There's a second. Now he's got 2. And he just continues
He's staying
on.
at 6.
I think he noticed what the speed was of the pack at 43, and it was like, I can do 48. Let's go.
This is like how a diamond thief operates. You just kind of quietly slide in, don't draw any attention to yourself, and just sort of slip away. And next thing you know, you've got 17 seconds.
He's got 17. That's not even after the. I mean, that wasn't even from the climb.
That's insane.
That's after the climb. He's not even around the corner yet. Usually that's up to like 10 at this point.
He's at 28K in. He's got, let's see here, 43 total K. So he's got 15 kilometers. He's going to have to match them now. He's doing more than matching them. He's adding to the advantage. It looks like it's going to go up to 20 seconds right now is my estimation, as he's holding around 5.75 watts per kilo to chase. No one is willing to take the bit between their teeth yet, Nathan, and the longer they wait, the better it is for Wouter. Can he do it? I mean, yeah, he can. Will he do it? Becomes the question. Will he be able to hold on?
How much of this is brought back by these?
Still quite a ways to go.
A lot of time is going to get brought back here, and he is backing off in a way that looks like this is 4 points.
But maybe if he aren't they going through? So they're going to start sprinting is the thing.
Yeah, they're
for second
now.
Place.
There it is. He just got the points.
That's
and
second.
He just backed off. See, he's not even caring about his speed. Look at him. If he wanted this, it'd be 57 kilometers per hour. I'd be jumping to 57 and trying to hold on. He just wanted the points. That was a long, long effort for some points, but he really secured them. I mean, he can just chill out. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because, so you know how Kate Bates will always tell you you only do as much as you need to do? Wouter, if that was only for those points, he certainly dug a deeper hole than he needed to bury the gold.
I'm one of those that I agree.
It looks like
just
you're right,
as much as you need to. The only thing I would say is he also gets to really relax for a while and not have to be under any stress other than maybe he just liked that longer effort. He didn't have to go into orange numbers. Orange numbers really are taxing on the body. And that may have been a little easier for him for the way he likes to ride and the way his mind. Well, it looks like they're just going right over the top. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, this would be a good counterattack moment, especially if you're not a fan of what Wouter just did. You definitely want to pay him back a little bit.
WLC with Roberts and Rathwell covering it quickly. It looks like Sisu Du now with Kaplan.
I'm a fan, to be fair. I am a fan of what Wouter just did, to be fair. I'm just saying that, obviously, when a guy's in the box after an attack like that, if he's the real danger man, it's your one chance to maybe find a little chink in the armor. But this is way bigger than just one man out here with so many points available. And as we jump in with the women now, they're inside of, let's call it 8K to go.
Yeah, and Rathwell looking to make a little bit of a move, jumped right up to Kaplan's wheel. And she's getting a free ride with a little bit of a gap at this point on the pack. I'm not sure it's going to help her out, though, with the kind of speed that pack is going to ramp up here. We'll see. I'm not sure Kaplan's going to give her a lead out. As Kaplan's at 185.
She might be able to go again, though. She might be able to sit here, wait till they come on, and then boom, give it a go. We'll see. Or even once you see them start sprinting, you can start, and they're not into it. Well, it's all moot point. It's all back together, and it looks like the sprint's going to be led out by, is that Sisu?
It's going to be
the Watt sisters.
Neck and neck here.
Aeonian.
Cameron does it again.
She
almost does it with ease.
Grossman again, too. 1-2 again. So Cameron and Grossman, potent combo today.
Is Anna Russell a little bit more on top of this sprint, it looks like. MJ taking third through the section there, having a really good ride out there today.
The Lewatt sister.
Still
that's your
64,
updated points.
49.
I think that doesn't include the That is not yet including, I think, the most recent, or maybe it
No,
does
I think
actually.
you're right. I think you're right. It's not. It's not including the most recent. Lots of power ups. I love how the triple power up is just a thing. They all are using their power ups. And now to the front, is that going to be Rathwell again? I think she wants to get away. As yeah, it is gonna be Rathwell. I don't know about this section. She did have the power
That
up, so
much
why not do
sprinting.
it?
Boy, if she can, yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't know that she's won every sprint, but there it updates there. Incredible riding from Claire out here. 74 total points already. It's more than most teams have.
And the boys making their way
It
around.
might be more than
looks
any
like.
team has.
And to the front, it looks like it's going to be Velocio making a move. And this is an obvious move, a little bit different from Barton here in the orange kit.
Got to get used to the
From
orange.
USA.
So their yellow jersey has become their trademark. So Velocio, a clothing manufacturer, so obviously they have access to any virtual color that they would like. Again, that's lap traffic that they're working through out here on Champs-Élysées.
Interesting. The 2-second gap here already as they make their way through 7.8 watts per kilogram. They're not letting it go though. ATP did go to the front at 5.7. And what is the motivations here, I wonder? Take a look at this.
Well, I don't think that they want to. So Wouter took those points last time. I think that they're maybe trying to avoid that scenario, giving Mike Barton this kind of time. Maybe they're trying to avoid. It looks like it because they're keeping their watts high. I mean, they're sitting on 5 watts per kilo right now back in the peloton, Nathan. That's when you know that they don't want you to break away. When you see that, you recognize that they're not giving you any leash.
Yeah, and it looks like 6 watts per kilogram then for Jacob. So for some reason, suddenly Next is getting really excited about how this race is playing out at the front end, not giving any wiggle room. They saw what happened last time around, perhaps, and just do not want to see that threat as they make their way here. Just putting some pressure on. Now, this kind of move from Next, it tells me, though, that the rest of this crew are sitting in, allowing these workhorses to go to the front and put the pressure on rather than really this being any kind of, this is just closing things down, keeping control of the race, making sure it's hard, but this isn't a full on attack or anything. It's just control of the race and taking on that leadership role.
Yeah, and exactly, Nathan, exactly. Not letting things get out of control out here. As maybe the reason that they're using orange here is because the Brazilians already had that yellow and green, to tell you the truth, because that would have been pretty tough to have two of the same yellow jerseys out here. As we take a look at
Greg Grzycki.
Is that next again? It is Greg. All right.
It was a setup for Grzycki is what it was. They were on the front making it tough, and then they said, Grzycki, give it a go. And
he's a closer.
I don't know if you saw, it reminded me of Podjakar saying go to the front for UAE this past week, and hitting the lap button.
Were you watching the UAE tour?
Just hit the lap button. One of his teammates went to the front and just drilled it for like 5K. Like on his. That's what I feel like Grzycki is doing right now. Just going to the front and drilling it as hard as he can. But actually, maybe it was the guys before him because he's making more of the Podjakar move rather than
it was Almeida, right? Was one of the. It was certainly
one of the guys.
impressive.
Yeah, they kind of did some interesting tactics, like where it was like they were attacking each other almost, or like closing gaps on each other, and you're like, are they just trying to make it as hard as they possibly can because they know Podge can just can just go at any time he wants to? So just make the race really, really hard, and then they'll be fine.
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what Next are up to. They're just making the race really, really hard, it seems like.
It's what they've been doing for it seems like the last year. Next has been absolutely dominant in the world of esports, and this is multiple different levels and divisions, all the way from Premier. I'm surprised that we don't have a Next women's team, to tell you the truth.
Oof.
I bet you that's coming.
Have to wait and see.
Have to wait and see. Larry Hughes, Pizza Boys.
Next. That's what's next.
Well, the ladies are down to
That's
the
the
finale
next level.
here.
That's the next level. They're gonna level up. They have a ladies team. It's only 1 second to Weselius there on the men's side of things. Let's just watch this sprint here actually real quick. I just wanted to check in with the ladies. They are about to start their
They'll
final
come up
climb.
on it.
Grzycki might hold
Yeah,
on
the
because of
guys
that
are-
arrow power up. I'm not sure it would have happened without it though. But I think he's going to do it because of that arrow power up. It's only 4 seconds. Dowd's coming out at 12 watts per kilogram. The speed's insane, but he was able to bump it back over 50, and he's
That
going to hold
helped.
on.
Yeah, that was a little kicker there. Just getting him up and over the top. Good job, Greg. Greg Grzycki there. Picking up top points. Ollie Dowd, speak of the devil, there's the restart rider. Dropping into the super tuck, the one little moment of just a reprieve that you get out here on the course. It has to be 3% or greater
Did it
when you look
split
at
again, Dave?
it certainly did. And at some point, this won't come back together with as hard as these guys have been racing out here, Nathan. They're going to be coming up on 1 to go very quickly. The ladies down to probably about 2.5K to go. They started about 10 minutes earlier as, well, make
It's-
it 2.9K of racing, and Riot back on the front here.
The usual suspect. That is
Precisely.
Megan Rathwell on the front.
Can Claire Cameron win this race as well today? Can you sprint that hard that many times? If she can, it shows just an amazing depth. It's certainly a great indicator for what she's going to be able to do on a bike over the next few years.
I have a feeling they may be setting up Grossman. We'll see. Cameron, though, I think you're right. I think-
Grossman's been going for it too, hasn't she?
yeah, I
And
don't
obviously
know.
one of the best sprinters out here. Yeah. I mean,
It's
they
almost-
could
it's
go
almost
1-2
Grossman
again.
versus Cameron, I feel like, at the end here, but perhaps maybe there's something else to be said from MJ.
Well, I
MJ
truly feel,
probably-
Nathan, when you're in esports and you're sprinting, you're going as full gas, as hard as you can. So it's not like one of those ladies is easing up to let the other win. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that they're racing against each other. They're racing against the world when you're sprinting. You can only go as hard as you can. There is no more than that. I think everybody's at the going as hard as they can when you're sprinting here in the ZRL.
Yeah,
You're not sprinting
you
at
really
90%.
you really do fight the machine solo. It's the different kind of
Right. It becomes
effort.
like, are you going to flip over? You know? And actually, Christina Grossman has flipped over before.
she
I'm
has
sure that-
launched her bike off of her trainer, literally in the middle
Seems
of a
like that
sprint
was
during a
years ago. It
broadcast.
was years
During a
ago.
broadcast,
Right.
this happened. It was about 1.5 years ago, I think, at this point. But maybe about a year ago. I know it was about a year ago.
We can laugh now. We can
We
laugh
laughed
now. It wasn't
afterwards.
funny
Actually,
then.
I talked to her afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck
But
happened?
they have a pretty good sense of humor.
It's like
over
my
there.
bike
Yeah.
literally came off the trainer. It went right
flipped.
almost in the screen. Here we
All
go.
right,
Final sprint
so-
for the points, and also a sprint immediately afterwards for the win on the day. Lots of people using all kinds. This is for the triple power up. That's what they're really using these out here today, because every power up you get is going to be some sort of
Look at all
advantage.
those
So why
steamrollers.
not? Laura Perry looking to have a little bit of an upset. Will she do it? Perry on the front, get that avatar standing up again. No, it's not going to happen. I
Ooh.
think Leigh Watt's sisters as well as Fearless take this down. But you know what? Riot, they didn't participate. You know why? They want the win now. That's what's happening here.
They have one chambered. Believe me, they didn't want to waste that bullet. It's sitting there. It's a silver bullet. And here we go, folks. This will be a fantastic final K.
Somerset, it's going to be on the front though. Leigh Watt's sisters now taking over. It is RCC, LPC. Yak slowly making her way forward as well. WLC, everyone really trying to not find themselves in the
out.
front. So interesting.
Yeah,
The
boy.
backing off, making sure I'm not actually on the front. Crush it. Really.
Positioning.
Cassandra Rush is right where she needs to be. Ooh, moves forward there. One of her teammates, though, taking the front wheel, it looks like. She's trying to find that wheel. Who's on the left?
just
hand there?
hoping that-
Mason?
You're just hoping that the right riders go out and just give you that wave to surf into the last 50 meters.
Who's
Everybody
the jump first?
patient
Yax
here.
goes first. It looks like now 6 watts per kilogram. Now Elliot.
No,
No, 11 watts per kilogram. Gagnon's going to be the
Everyone
first one to
taking.
go. It's going to be Evelyn Gagnon. Now the kick from Claire Cameron. She
Riot
might
goes.
just make it
All
happen
right.
now. Grossman, 10 watts per kilogram. Cameron, she's just a level above everybody in the East at this point. Takes it
Legend.
down. Grossman for second.
0-1.
Russell, I think,
Yeah.
for third. They sweep the podium. And Russell, I think, just took third place in a sprint. What just happened? The whiteboard.
Unreal.
The whiteboard
Unreal.
queen.
And I tell you what, you want to talk, when we go back and look at that one, Nathan, that was all about patience there from the Riot ladies. Just nerves of steel out there today. Congratulations, Claire Cameron. You're a legend. Christina Grossman continues to be so impressive out here, and Riot wins the season going away, Nathan. Another command performance from the Riot ladies. Guys, down to 4K to go, 3.8K to go for the men now. So we'll jump right into that finale before we take a look at results. You can always go to WTRL.racing. This is another look at the women's finish here is when Claire Cameron goes. Look, it's like a rocket ship as she just
gone.
accelerates.
12 watts per kilogram. Just gone.
No one could even come close. Grossman is clearly better than everyone else as well out here as Christina Grossman wins that sprint hands down over the rest of the field. Just her teammate is just from out of this world right now.
Did Anna take it, I wonder? Because I do see her kind of coming through there with an arrow. She still has arrow left, so I don't know if she actually took it or if it was... It might have been Frangos from Royal City. Keeping it real, her teammate was right there as well. And then Yax was there too. So I'm not sure that might have been Anna coming on after the line. We'll take a look at the results to find out. But obviously still a solid sprint by her. And cool to see Anna with obviously a good kick that she's built up. But Cameron, whew, what a move by Claire Cameron.
Yeah, Claire, wow. Really, really impressive. Let's jump back in now with the guys at 3K to go. One of the biggest groups that we've seen together all day long, to tell you the truth here, this peloton.
Yeah, they're definitely being a little bit more coy, that's for sure, at this point. They're not making any serious moves.
2 sprints to go. Can you refresh me, Nathan? Can we take a look at the season-long points just to get a feel again for as we have a moment here? So this is where it stands now, and yeah, well, I guess that's part of what's going on here. Is there's really no question that the next level will get the invite into the playoffs unless Velocio Trail Mesh can see something special happen. And I don't know that has happened out here up to this point. I think Next Level has done enough to protect themselves, although they will need to finish to close out the deal.
Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and take a look here.
It doesn't look like it's in any great jeopardy.
No, not even close. I mean, they would have to stack the top 5 with nothing but orange jerseys, and I don't even think they have that many jerseys here, do they?
And Next would have to not score another point the rest of the day, and they still have enough to win, I think. So that's okay. We got some sprints to look forward to. What we're going to find out, to tell you the truth, it's going to be pretty much a natural race, Nathan. You don't get pure sprints very often these days with so much excitement and all the bonuses and everything going on. But I think we're going to see basically a reduced peloton, but not that reduced, getting a chance to sprint it out full on heads up gallop style.
What's kind of fun here is the way that they're able to kind of have this almost preem prior to the sprint. So those who kind of want to go for that can set up to make it super high-end speed, as we do see. Is that going to be Dowd giving it a go? So
here it goes.
He's got that. Now, this may be a triple power-up situation, though.
Ollie.
Watch him get a
He
gap.
would be the kind of guy.
Watch him get a gap, get in a steamroller, pop another steamroller, keep the gap going, pop another steamroller. That's not going to happen, though. The Pizza Boys are dragging it in here. Solid by Dowd. He just holds on. It looks like Kilborn.
He gets that one.
Pizza Boys are there as well. Do we see another power-up coming through? ETP to the
He
front.
did not do the triple Lindy.
Greenberg. No, he didn't. And maybe he didn't get the right power
Brad.
up, or he's saving it up here.
Brad has won a sprint earlier today, so he's certainly a rider to watch. The ATP man up here. Pizza Boys, though, they're having a strong finale today. There's Redenauer moving up. Wouters Wart is back. Guarini. This is going to be the Brazilian Osmar here. And brace yourselves. We're about 600 meters away from a full-on bunch kick.
And here we go. The steamrollers start to get popped. They are 30-second power-ups, so they are longer. They'll get popped a lot earlier. Very early feather pop. A little bit too early, in my opinion. You don't want to use it until this little bump here because it's the only spot where you're going to get a lot of advantage. Here come the arrows, though. It's going to be less than 15 seconds, mainly to the line now. And 11 watts per kilogram. Osmore. No, Gumbel giving it a go. Trying to hold on to the wheel of Morse, but it's going to be Morse at 14 watts per kilogram, showing us he's got the solid kick, 900 watts. Gumbel has to settle for second across the line. Take a look at the slowed down replay, see if we can catch who was third. But solid effort there around. And from Mike Morse.
So
do you see how that sprint works, though, Dave? I mean, it's such a... It's all about that little bump. It's all about that little bump, it feels like, and getting the kick immediately after the bump or right around the bump to carry speed over the top.
Yeah, 100%. So, well, congratulations to Next, presented by Insured, for yet another ZRL WTRL championship as we get to roll back and take another look at the finale here. This is about 300 meters to go. You can see the arch just on the horizon.
You see the little 1% they're going to, so it's negative 1% right here, and it swaps to 0 for a moment. And then we get into a 1% uphill gradient right here when everybody kicks. And that's where you want to kick because you get the most advantage for your watts. And Morse says, I can kick over a 1% harder than you, and gets a gap and makes sure no one's on his wheel. If you can do that, it's definitely worth it because they're not going to be able to come through with quite enough speed, as you can see.
A lot of great sprinters in this division, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
One of the top
Look
sprinters
at all the
divisions.
Bodies. Look at all the, again, in
So
a ZRL race, it's always, this place is never this populated. That's the thing. Like, when we finished this sprint, I was like, I was not used to seeing all these people. I'm not used to seeing this many people here at all.
Yeah, all of the different men's and women's divisions finishing up here. I just saw Carolyn DeFore out of Austin, Texas there. Yeah, it's been quite a season. Congratulations to all of our riders out there. I mean, what a commitment getting through all 8 races. It's been brutal. So you did it. You have finished. We'll look forward to seeing you back for Season 3 of WTRL and ZRL's 2021-2022 campaign. Season 3 starting April 5th. They just released all of the details for where you'll be racing. This is our top 10. Again, it was Claire Cameron taking the win for right. It was a top 3. Anna Russell, you're a machine. Christina Grossman for silver. Anna Russell for bronze. Sarah Frangos in 4th. Jennifer Reel 5th. Kristen Yak 6th. Britt Mason 7th. Megan Rathwell 8th. Molly Van Houweling in 9th. And Evelyn Gagnon rounding out our top 10 for the East Division 1 women. A.
Gotta love it. This is not McDonald's. And so here we go.
I'm loving it. So you made up a new one. You're good.
Mike Morse got a little
Gotta love it.
0.17 second gap. Tony Gumbel holds on. Barton there for 3rd. It's going to be real close between him and Duval. And then for 3rd and 4th there, Richie Keller coming on through for next. Whew, but Velocio, at least Velocio Trail Mesh, they get the win.
Fight.
They get the win across the line for first across the line in the scratch race side of things and the points, but not going to be happening.
They didn't lay down.
Nope, they did not.
No, they had a great season, that's for sure.
Evan Haney there. Haney's solid rider out of Canada for 6th place there for HTFU. It's going to be Michael Kronert timing things well. See what I did there in 7th. It's going to be Yumeto Shigahara for Velocio Trail Mesh in 8th. It's going to be JP Leclerc in for 9th. And Alexandra Dion, Cannondale Echelon, presented by 4. I like those guys. Actually, I met a couple of those guys actually in Canada during one of our KOM Challenge way back, very early days with Zwift, actually. So good to see Dion still hammering away doing a great job out there. Been around Zwift a very long time. For the rest of the results, everybody, head on over to WTRL.racing. I do see the comments in chat, and I want to say the same thing. We'll say it across the broadcasts. Next season, one of our focuses is to bring in more of the categories and not just the A and Division I racing, and bring in a lot more of the stories that are from the people in the community that make up the community. So I appreciate all of you and pushing for that, and we love that feedback, and we want to know all about you. So be on the watch out for ways that we are going to be incorporating that. And actually, we've got a lot of stuff in store for the TTT on Thursday, right down that line as well. So make sure to tune in for that. Next up, in 1 hour from now, we are going to be broadcasting the America's West. Kate Bates will be sitting where I am, coming out of Australia, live at you. Dave is going to be here as well, and I'm going to be taking a quote-unquote break and just hanging out in the background with productions. But I appreciate all of you tuning in. Follow buttons, subscribe buttons, likes and comments. Those things exist if you want to do them, and they do help out the channel a ton. So make sure to go ahead and do that, and we'll see you in about an hour for America's West to finish out this regular season and look forward to the playoffs. As always, everybody, ride on.